Hi guys, what happens if we often use the laptop under the sunlight? If you are a laptop user, you must have taken it to the park or outdoors, where it is often exposed to sunlight. Using a laptop outside certainly must be considered. The reason is that if the hot sun hits the laptop directly, it will actually cause damage to the laptop. So here are some of the effects on your laptop that you need to pay attention to. The most obvious first impact when using a laptop in direct sunlight is overheating. Overheating is a condition in which a device or system gets too hot beyond a safe or normal limit. The laptop itself actually has a cooling system to keep the components at a safe operating temperature, but the laptop manufacturer's adjustment of the cooling system is just for room temperature levels. Laptops that are exposed to direct sunlight can certainly increase maximum heat, and the cooling system can be less than optimal at dissipation heat. Especially if the body of the laptop is made of metal, the body will easily increase in the temperature because of the sunlight, and it even adds heat to the internal components of the laptop. And overheating the laptop will make the component work under normal circumstances, like the CPU, GPU, power controller component, and many chips on the motherboard. An overheating laptop will usually automatically shut down to protect its components. If this auto shutdown occurs frequently, it is feared that it will cause damage to the hardware system. Of course, this will reduce the age of your laptop. Laptop screen damage. Hot sunlight can interfere with your laptop screen. Prolonged exposure to sunlight can cause the colors on your screen to fade and result in reduced visual experience. This is because the organic components of the LCD are susceptible to ultraviolet and infrared radiation. This can cause discoloration and fading. The impact of this risk does not occur directly, but users who use laptop outdoors too often can make the quality of the laptop screen decrease. Lithium-ion battery commonly found in laptops are sensitive to heat. When a laptop is exposed to high temperatures, it can cause the battery to get hotter. Not only that, if your laptop is too often exposed to the sun's heat, then the battery life will also decrease. Meanwhile, when the laptop is at normal temperature, inside components like the CPU and GPU will contribute the most heat, and then the heat can influence the battery chemical and affect battery life. And if the laptop is often exposed to sunlight, the heat is absolutely above the normal limit. So the most dangerous thing is the heat from the sunlight, which can make temperature rise. As I mentioned before, the metal body will better and more easily transfer heat and make it easy to rise the temperature, which could potentially cause injury to the user. For example, if the metal is hot on the skin, it will cause a burning sensation. The last is that if we usually use laptop outdoors, they will easily absorb dust into their internal components. And the biggest problem that often occurs is that the dust will accumulate and block airflow. If the airflow in the laptop is interrupted, it will certainly affect the cooling system. The heatsink is not enough to cooling the pipe and not enough to hold CPU and GPU temperatures. So we need to take care when using the laptop, especially if we use it outside. The most damaging factor is the rise in temperature, and exposure to hot sunlight really impact on the laptop. And be careful when placing the laptop and don't get a lot of dust or sand around it. Thus, a review of the impact of the laptop when exposed to direct sunlight. It is recommended to users remain careful when using laptop outdoors so that the component and laptop will last longer. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe this channel, and see you in the next video.